So here we are again, children. So today we are going to go through the ebook. Let us go to the theory part as well. Now that we have done the practicals, and so we will move ahead with the ebook. So we have discussed about the numbers last time, and just before we start, okay, let me just tell you, I was supposed to give you the notes for the chapter 1. It is still in the process, children, so I'm going to give you the notes tomorrow without fail. Okay, so do not worry about the notes. It is still in the process. Tomorrow you will be getting your notes sure shot, so do not worry about that. Okay, now let's begin. So the non data type, already we have discussed that this is a special data type, so which indicates that it is used to signify the absence of a value or a false in a situation. It is represented by none. Okay, the word none that starts with a capital N, please remember that. And then we have the sequence data types. Now these are the data types, that is the string, and we have the list and the tuple. So these are the three very important data types that we have, especially the list and dictionaries, and the most important is the dictionary. Okay, so these are extremely useful data types that Python has. So we have separate chapters on these data types, that is string, tuples, and the list and the dictionaries. So we'll be learning about it, okay, in the separate chapter, but this is just a small introduction that they have given. So let me just read out for you. So string is a ordered sequence of letters slash characters. So it is a sequence of characters put together. A sequence of characters will be called as a string. They are enclosed in a single quote or the double quotes. Okay, the quotes are not the part of the string. Okay, that is very important. So whatever you put under the double quotes, so that will be a string, but the quotes will be not the part of the string. So you can use a single quote or a double quote as well. They only tell the computer whether the string constant, where the string constant begins and ends. They can have any character or sign including space in them, and these are immutable. Now this is very important. Okay, these are like immutable data types. Let me take a highlighter. This is not really working. Okay, immutable data types, this is very important. Now immutable, since the numbers like integers, right, they are they are immutable, and I've told you how they are immutable. Okay, so we will learn about the immutable data types while dealing with third aspect of the object, that is value of object. So please remember that the numbers like integers, floating numbers, the complex numbers, and strings, okay, even string, are immutable data type. In fact, I spoke about tuple. Even tuple is an immutable data type which cannot change. Okay, so we will learn about immutable data types while dealing with a third party aspect of objects. So we're going to learn about that, don't worry. Okay, so how do we have a variable with a string is like this: a is equal to, and I say ram with a single quotes, or you can use a double quote as well. So a string with length 1 represents a character in Python. So if we have length 1, means if there is only one, if I have a equal to, and then in a single quote or a double quote I have the character maybe h. Okay, so this is the length of this particular string is what? The length is 1. And if I talk about this particular example, the length over here is 3 because there are 3 characters. So a string with length 1 like this likewise represents a character in Python. Okay, this is a single character conversion from one type to another. Now this is typecasting, children. You can do the typecasting. I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, so there is I told you how to do this, like okay, the data type, even this I've shown you. Like if I type use the function that is type, and if I give the value that is a string, it is going to give me the data type that it belongs to. So it belongs to string data type str, which denotes string. And if I give something like 3.2, which is under the single quotes, now since this is under the single quotes, it is still a string, isn't it? It is not a number, and you can see we have the same answer. So it is possible to change one type of data variable to another type. This is known as type conversion or typecasting. Now that is the word that normally we use, that is called as typecasting. The conversion can be done explicitly, and we have already done some typecasting. Now these are the functions that are used for typecasting, and children, already we have done this typecasting in my last class. Just I will switch to Python, and I'll just show you how the typecasting and where we applied it. We have used that int function, if you can remember. And why we used this int function is because the input function basically is used to take some input, but it takes everything in form of a string. So if I use the input function and if I say enter a number, I'm going to show you in the shell mode itself, enter a number. Okay, let me just give this number assigned to a, so that a is a variable, and then I use the function. So this function is going to take a value from the keyboard, so enter a number, and then that particular value is going to get assigned to a. And now you can see it is immediately asking me to enter a number. So if I enter number 12 and press enter, and now if I print a, what is going to happen? You can see that a is basically not showing the double quote, but a. Okay, let me do it this way, print. Okay, print, and then let me check the type of a. What is the type of a? And you can see what is the type of a, children. It is str, which means that this 12 is not a number, this is a string. So I need to convert this number into, I need to convert this string into a number. And how I'm going to do that is I can simply say, again use the same name, that is a, and I can convert int, and I can say a. So what is going to happen, this particular function is going to convert the string into a number and then assign it to the same variable. And now if I use the type of a, you can see now what is the type. The type is int. So this is called as typecasting. Okay, and please understand one thing, one of the most important feature of Python is dynamic typing. What is dynamic typing? Dynamic typing, like the same thing which I did out here. Suppose a, if I give as now sunbeam, and then I print a. So what is the type of a? A is of string type, but then again I can use the same variable, and this time I can give 20, and then I can print a, and this is, it is going to allow me, right? So the data type of a over here was string, and over here it is 20, which is integer. So I've changed the value, not only the value, I've changed the data type as well. So over here it was string, a was string data type, and now over here a is an integer data type. So this switching that we are doing is, children, it is called as dynamic typing. Since I told you that Python is a dynamic typed programming language, it is a dynamic programming language, and so we have this dynamic typing feature in Python. So this is dynamic typing. So if the question comes to you, what is dynamic typing, you will simply give this example. I hope that this is clear to you now. And now let us move ahead. So there are other also, like if I want to convert any string which is a floating number 2.5 under the double quotes, and I can convert that into a floating number. Okay, and then I have string. So this is going to convert, for example, a reverse of that. uh, there might be certain situations where you have to convert. So if I print a out here, now over here a is basically, if I say print and type of a, it is what, it is integer, and let me again convert that to a string. So this, I'm going to convert that again to string. Okay, and now if I say print and type of A, so that was the reverse of it, children, and now it is a string. So string will be converting, if there is a number, it will convert that into a string. Okay, and the same floating, if it is something like this, like I have 20.5, and you can see that this is actually a string, isn't it? So if I say type A, and this is a string, but if I use A is equal to float. Why float? Float means floating numbers. Floating numbers means the number with the fractional values, the fractional numbers. And so if I say A out here now, and now if I say print the type of A, it is going to give me that is float. Now this will be an actual floating number. So this is the thing, children. And then we have the other functions like the bull function. One by one, they are just given some examples, so you can see. Let us go through their example as well. So this is okay. If this is a floating number 12.34, and if I use, now this is a floating number, so this is a good example. So this is a floating number, and if I use int a, so I'm converting that into integer number. So what is going to happen, that fractional part is going to get ignored. So you can see the fractional part, that is 0.34, will be not included to B. So now B is going to only have the value 2, and please make sure that there is a bracket parenthesis over here, because this is 2.7, but we are working with the latest version, and this is 12. Okay, so if A is equal to 25 and I convert that into a float, what is going to happen? The answer is going to be 25.0. And then there are other usabilities of the bull function as well. I'm going to, as we go ahead, we're going to have some examples for this particular function as well. So a small example, if I can just try out something like maybe A is equal to, if I say bull and uh, of one number, and okay, so I'm not really finding some examples, so let me just now the type of A, and now it is going to be give me, I have converted this into a bull. Basically, if I print the value of A, and it is going to give me true. Why? Because this is a non-zero number basically, so it is giving me true. And if I do something like A is equal to bull, and I give 0 this time, and if I try to print A, this time it is going to give me a false, because that's a non-zero number. This is 0 basically, so 0 basically represents false, and anything that is a positive number or more than greater than 0 will be true. So as we go ahead, children, we're going to have some more examples. Do not worry about this. Okay, so that was the about the type convergence. And then we have list. So list is also a sequence of values, and this is how we actually declare a list. So this is just a small example. Now we do not have sets in our syllabus, okay, so do not worry about this, but still we have list. So how we're going to deal with list? Okay, let me just close this one more time and do it with the shell mode. So just small examples I'm going to show you for the list. Is list always be declared with a, and now please understand, again I'm repeating this, we have a separate chapter on list, dictionaries and tuples. So this is just a small introductions that we have for the data types. As I said that in the last class, the basic data types of Python will be numbers, strings, list, dictionary, tuples. Other than this, we have some special data types like the none, and yeah, none. So please remember this data type, children. Okay, so this will be a list, and then a list means it will be having a list of numbers, and it normally starts with the opening, not normally, it will start with a this bracket, the square brackets, and then we can have any kind of data type into this. So this is having sequence of data, and it can have all types of data. So these two are, and it has to be separated by comma basically. So the square bracket, opening and closing. Now this is my first element or the first item in the list, that is 12, and then we have the number, that is 45, then we have a string value, and then comma, and then we have 7.8. So this is just a small introduction that I'm showing you. And now if I say print L, and it is going to print that list. Okay, since they have given set, so let us go across the set also. I will read it for you. A set is also an unordered collection of values. Now what does this mean is, okay, as we're going to go through these children, since dictionary is also unordered, as you can see, mapping, that is a unordered and mutable. So basically, sets is also an unordered collection of values of any type with no duplicate entries. So it doesn't allow duplicate entries, and that is what it means. But sets are also immutable, which means we cannot change the value. Okay, so example, we can take examples, children. So if I say s is equal to, and we can have, that is the set like this. There is a square bracket given over there, but do not worry. um, this is the example. Basically this is how the set looks like. I don't think that's the perfect. Okay, this is how the set will look like, and now this is a set basically. Okay, and please remember I have given the capital S. So if I give small s, and it is going to show me the error. Why? Because there is no variable with the small s, there is a capital S. And now this actually becomes a set. And now if I try, I cannot change anything. And so just for one more example, I can show you that 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 4. And now if I try to print s, and what is going to happen, the duplicate value, it is not going to allow anything that is duplicate. You can see there is 1 2 3, and there are 2 4s, but it is only going to take 1 4. It does not allow the duplicates. Okay, and the third data type that we have is very important, that is the dictionaries. Dictionaries, like we have this with the curly brackets, and dictionaries basically have, a key and a value pair. They are paired together. So basically, just in short, I'm telling you, like maybe something like 1, and then I have to give colon, and then a J. So this basically indicates that this is a roll number and this is the name of the student, and they are always paired together, dictionaries. Okay, so the values of the dictionaries are basically a pair, and the pair will be a key and a value. So this will be called as a key, and the value of that key is a J. And then I can give one more element, that is 2 colon, after colon then I will type something like bj. Okay, so now there are how many elements? There are 2 elements and not 4 elements, because this is a key and this is the value, so they are paired together, children. Understand this. So this is one element and this is the second element. Okay, do not worry if you're not really understanding much about this, because once we're going to have the chapter, we have a complete chapter on this, so we're going to go in detail of everything. Okay, so this is just a small introduction. And then we have a tuple. Tuple always looks like this, that is with the curly brackets, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, and it is immutable. Dictionaries are mutable, tuples are immutable, sets are immutable. Okay, but they do not allow duplicates. That's the only difference. So all these things you should know. At least theoretically you have to keep these things in your mind. And these are tuples. So if I try to print t, it is going to print as it is. Okay, we are going to work with tuples as well. Tuples are also immutable data types. Okay, children, so that's it, children. Today I've just gone through some theory part and all, and yes, I have to give you the notes. So tomorrow I'm going to share you the notes. I was supposed to do it today, but it is still in the process, children. Tomorrow I will share the PDF file with you. Okay, so that's it for today, children. Bye for now.